On the phone with me right now from Washington, D.C., America's capital, is IBF light welterweight champion Lamont Peterson. Hello, Lamont.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad. Yourself?
I'm doing good. Just getting ready for this fight, February 22nd.
Yeah, first of all, tell us a little bit about your next fight. This is with Kendall Holt. Tell us a little bit about your opponent.
Well, he's former world champion, and he can fight. So I'm looking forward to a good hard fight, and been just preparing for that. And but everything's been going good.
All right, so your record is 31-1. That's a 15 knockouts as well for you. That's a 47% knockout ratio, one which many would consider successful. So what I want to ask you is, what inspired you to become the boxer you are today?
I don't know. It's just something that I always wanted to do. Ever since I was 4 or 5 years old. Just watching Pernell Whitaker and Evander Holyfield one night fight on TV, and it was that the switch went on in my head from that point on. Just something I wanted to do.
And what about Barry Hunter? In your childhood, he noticed you, didn't he?
Oh yeah, I met Barry when I was 10, and he really the one that taught me how to box, and while teaching me how to box, he was just teaching me how to live my life the right way.
Okay, so you had an awesome amateur record as well. So you had this Golden Glass lightweight title in 2001, and you were U.S. champion in 2003. When did you make the decision to go professional, and why?
I first was going to go professionally when I think I was just turned 18 or I was 17, and I had just won the Golden Gloves, and offers started coming in, but I really wanted to fight on the Olympic team, so I was going to stay to 2004 and hopefully get on the team. But I lost in the Olympic trials and in the box club, so at that point I knew it was time to turn pro. I was 20 years old. There was really nothing left for me to do in the amateurs, but wait around and try to go to the Olympics again, which I would have been 24 years old. To me, it was just, too old. So I just, I decided to turn pro.
And how did you pick yourself up? I mean, you went 26, 27 fights undefeated?
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously...
it was a good start, starting off, with 26 wins in a row. We was on the road, but then you get to championship level and you realize that, things are tough, not that easy.
Absolutely. So, I mean, these fights, Tim Bradley and Victor Ortiz, why didn't you tell us a little bit about those fights? How significant were those to your career?
Well, both of those fights were most important fights and at the time in my career. Fighting Tim Bradley, that was the first title, fight I was in. I learned a lot from that fight, inside and outside the ring. So, to me, that's still the most important fight to me. It's a fight that I would love to rematch him, someday in the future. But, I learned a lot from that fight, just on how to prepare myself for a championship fight and how to go out and handle myself, on that level. And the Victor Ortiz fight, it was a difficult fight starting off, but you can see that the progression from, the things that I learned in the Bradley fight helped me in the Victor Ortiz fight. And then, after the Victor Ortiz fight, what I learned from that fight helped me in my next two fights.
And in your next two fights were very significant. Your world title victory over Amir Khan. How significant was that to you? What did it mean to you?
It meant a lot to me. Fighting for 17 years at the time. All that hard work and time and dedication put into, this boxing game, and I just felt as though that night it finally paid off.
All right, Amir Khan in the UK has got a large following. What would you say to the UK fans about the cancelled fight last year? How much of an impact did it make on you? And do you think it could happen in the future?
I think the fight will happen in the future. I'm almost sure of it. I would like to apologize for the delay, but it'll happen.
It will happen. Okay. And since then, you've signed with Golden Boy. What does that mean for you?
Well, it's a big step, in my career. Just give me the assurance that, as long as I take care of my business in the ring, I know I'll be in big fights in the future. And hopefully, one of those big fights are with a big time.
And now that you're world champion, what sort of future aspirations do you have? And what sort of message would you give to the fighters in your division right now? I'm talking to Danny Garcia's, Juan Manuel Marquez's. What sort of message would you be sending out to them?
I don't really think I need to send a message to them. They know I'm here. They know I'm holding the IBF title. And they know if that's the title that they want, they're going to have to fight.
Oh, they're going to have to fight, aren't they? And you haven't fought for over a year now. This is one thing I'm sure you've been asked a lot. You haven't fought for over a year, 14 months, and last time you had a fight was December 2011. And your next fight's against Kendall Holt, who, make no mistake about it, is a very experienced fighter. And do you feel 100% ready to get back in the ring, and why now?
Yeah, I feel 100% to get back in the ring. And I look at it like this, fighters are fighters. It can be 10 years off. If you know how to fight, you know how to fight. Would there be ring rust? Maybe. Who knows? I've been in the gym for the whole 14 months, sparring, training, everything. So I feel pretty good. Who knows what's going to happen that night, but I'm not worried about it. Whatever happens is going to happen. And regardless of what, I still believe I win the fight.
All right, your next fight, obviously, it's with a very hungry fighter. What sort of fight are you expecting from Kendall Holt? This guy's 28-5. He has lasted 12 rounds with Tim Bradley, so he's a very tough competitor. What sort of fight are you expecting from him? Is he going to bring it, or is he going to sit back, or what? What do you think?
I'll be ready for whatever he brings to the table. If he lay back, I know what to do. And if he decide to put pressure on me, then I know what to do. I'm just, preparing myself for any type of fight that he can bring me. I know it'll be a tough fight. He's a former world champion, and he wanted to be champion again, and he's not going to go down easy.
All right, and this fight, 22nd of February, Friday fight nights, Washington, D.C. This is your hometown. What sort of crowd are you expecting there? How much of a part do you think this crowd's going to play?
I think it'll play in my favor, of course. Just stepping out there and seeing the familiar faces of friends and family, it'll always help you, to make you want to win that much more. And when you get tired, they're always there to, give you that extra burst to help you finish the fight, or, if you need to dig down and get that last round, they'll be there for me. So of course the crowd's gonna play in my favor, and I'll feed off.
Okay, let me ask a little bit about when you grew up watching boxing. Who were maybe your inspirations?
Starting off, it was Pernell Whitaker and Evander Holyfield, and then when they start getting older and and was leaving out the game, then it was like Roy Jones and Sugar Shane Mosley. And, then I really start going back, watching older film, and, Julio Cesar Chavez and Sugar Ray Leonard, were two of my favorites from, back then. And then, I really started getting deep into boxing, and, Sugar Ray Robinson, probably my favorite fighter.
Okay, did they sort of affect you? Did you sort of learn to emulate them?
Anytime you watch tons of footage on a person, regardless if you want to or not, you're going to take something from them and emulate them. Just a little bit. I don't want, take anyone's style or try to copy someone's style. So, I'll just try, I just steal a move here and there and leave it at that.
All right. Just deviating a little. I know you're a big fan of football. When I say football, I mean American football. When you say football in the UK, people think it's soccer.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, tell us a little bit about the team you support. I think Washington Redskins?
Yeah, I support the Redskins, of course. You know, that's my home.
Yeah.
That's my hometown, and you know, it was a lot of ups and downs this season. You know, everybody was, psyched about RG3. Then he gets hurt. And then everybody was down. He come back. Everybody was hyped again, and then he's out for a long time. So everybody's down right now. And hopefully, February 22nd, I can, bring some light back to the city with a big victory.
Tell me something as well. In terms of an athlete's point of view, this RG3 injury, it's massive. Now, when he returns, is he going to be the same sort of football player? Is he going to be the same when he comes back? Obviously, as an athlete, you'd know this kind of thing.
I hope so. And the way these doctors, the work that they do these days are amazing. So, I expect him to be, 100%, when he come back. I just hope he don't try to rush and come back, because that's when, the problems, occur, and then if you think you're ready, you're not telling everybody that you're not ready, and then, same thing that happened last time, just because you don't want to take out one game, then you end up being out for a whole season. So hopefully he take all the time that he need, and when he comes back, he's 100%. I believe he can do it.
All right, Sunday, 3rd of February, Super Bowl. We've got the San Francisco 49ers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens, obviously, they've got Ray Lewis. It's going to be his final game. The San Francisco 49ers, I think they're a very popular team down here in the UK. Who do you think's going to win this Super Bowl?
To be honest, I can't pick one. I'm gonna have to go with the Ravens because they're close to home. They're only 40 minutes away, so I'll be pulling for them. And Ray Lewis last game, so I'll be pulling for him. But I really don't know who's gonna win the game.
That's a fair analysis there. Now, if we go back to boxing, in the UK, would you come and have a fight in the UK? Would you come here?
Yeah, I would love to fight in the UK.
Yeah?
Every time, I've been over there, and, even on, like Twitter, people show me a lot of love. So, and I know it's boxing is big over in the UK.
That's
so I would love to, go over there and fight.
Is there any young British boxers that have caught your eye recently?
I watched the Olympics, and, the crew that y'all had out there, they're pretty good fighters. And Kell Brooks, I watched him fight a few times. I like the way he fights. I expect him, to eventually be a world champion.
Okay. Finally, Lamont, many of our listeners may have hopes to become top athletes in the future. We have a lot of kids following this who want to be boxers in the future. What sort of advice would you give to them to maximize their chances of becoming successful?
If you get into the boxing game, it requires more than just your time. It requires a lot, out of you. If you're not willing to give it your all, then I suggest not do it. But if you decide to do it, just give it your all. It's a really rough sport, but it's a really good sport. It's a sport of, a lot of times ups and downs, but for the most part, you just follow your heart. It's a sport that you have to love. You can't just like to box or want to box because my friend boxed or I saw it on TV. It has to be something that you love.
All right, okay. 22nd of February, Friday fight nights, Washington, D.C. What are we going to see? If we tune in, Friday fight nights, what are we going to expect? Your fight against Kendall Holt.
Expect a great fight. Of course, at the end of the day, I'll be victorious. Whether it's a decision or knockout or however it goes, I just know that, I'll come out with the right game plan. Me and my team will come out with the right game plan, and we'll win the fight. But expect a good fight, a good crowd, an exciting night for my boxing team, Headbangers, and for DC.
All right, Lamont, I want to thank you for speaking to us. Really appreciate having a world champion talking to us on the Sports Lounge in 93.5 Unity FM.
No problem.
And good luck in your fight
No
against
problem at
Tanvir.
all.
It's been a pleasure
All right,
talking to you, man.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Mhm.